Right, hello folks. I have another request to do this tune. This time from one of my old Morris team, in fact, Jeff Parker from Shrewsbury, who moved there from Carlisle. So, hello Jeff, this is your fault. Here we go anyway. The tune is None So Pretty. It's a very close relative of Constant Billy. I'm not sure how tunes got passed around villages hundreds of years ago, but it's very easy to imagine that the fiddlers swapped tunes and forgot titles, and so you've got this approximation of titles which are like Bobby and Joan, Bob and a Joe, Bobby and a Joan, and in this case None So Pretty and Constant Billy sound phonetically fairly similar, so not surprisingly the tunes are fairly similar as well. I'm not absolutely sure that this is None So Pretty as written. Everything is done from memory in my case because I can't read music. And in case you're new to this series of box teardowns, I can't talk in musical terms either. So it's all going to be done quite physically, and I hope successfully, but we'll see. Been one or two questions during the week. One is about the box. It's a Bell Tuner Sara 3. I think they're made by the Mengasini family in Italy. It's what shall I say? It's as standard, I think, as bought. I don't think anybody's tweaked it. It's second hand to me. I got it from another friend who moved from Carlisle Morris team down to Shrewsbury as well, or Whitchurch it was, Doug Data. And I don't think it was tweaked in his possession. I'm using all three voices as well, so that's something you might need to know. Another question, why do I do it in this workshop? Well, there's an angle poise light on the lathe and there's another one on the drilling machine, so they're handy to shine on each end of the box, so hopefully you can see a little bit more clearly what my fingers are actually doing. I know it's not easy because my fingers are poised above the buttons and it's difficult to see whether they're actually pressing the buttons or not, but I'll try to lift them if I remember. Simon Ritchie said I should crack on with the tune straight away, and I've already not done that, but I'll do it now. Then you can switch me off if you don't want to do the teardown of how I actually do it. So here we go. So there you are. They say hundreds of years ago, when there wasn't much exposure to music, or nothing like as much as there is now, church bells would play a large part in people's musical consciousness, and so quite a few tunes have the sound of church bells ringing in them in the background, and this one seems to be one of those. To break it down then, as I've said in previous videos, I don't find this easy because I have to try to isolate my fingers from each other and my hands from each other as well, and since everything works synchronously when I'm playing the tune, and not only that, when I'm actually developing the tune as well, everything's working together. I don't think of one line, then add another line, then add the left hand. I do it all at once and fiddle about until it sounds right, making mistakes all the time until it sounds the way I want it to sound. And then the upshot of all that is that I play the tune synchronously. So never at any point until right now have I tried to break it down. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So please bear with me. It'll be a little bit difficult. I'll make mistakes all over the place because I haven't got my fingers referring to one another. Oh, and another thing, I've heard somebody say this is extremely skillful, all this sort of stuff. Well, I don't think it is. It's not as difficult as people think. Chord work on the right hand, as I think I said in my first video, is a matter of remembering shapes. And your hand does remember shapes much more easily than which individual finger movements you're making. So when you're playing chords, there's nearly always one finger in the chord that stays where it was in the previous chord, and the other fingers move in relation to that one, which is acting as an anchor. Of course, that doesn't happen all the time, but to a large extent it does, and it makes life a lot more easy than it looks. And the other thing is, it doesn't take long to build up a bank of chords in your brain. So that in the end you can pretty much play chords straight away. When you're starting to play a tune, you know where the chords are, you know where your hand has to be, and it's again, as I've said before, it's money in the bank, so to speak. Once you've built up a fat bank account of chords, you can draw on them instantly, and life's a whole lot easier. For my money, it's well worth the work. But a lot of people say this isn't the way to play the melodion. Amazingly how people become so sort of didactic about it. But anyway, it's one way of playing it. So I'll try and break it down then. You notice there's a little bit of syncopation there. There's a gap. That gap is filled by the left hand or by the first finger, I think, maybe. I can't remember. But here we go. And then with my first finger, I can add in the harmonies. So my first finger is going. And there is one of those cases where I'm using my first finger across both rows. You can do that all over the place. So I'm only using chords on the left hand there for this particular phrase. Then so for those two lower notes, I'm using my first finger for the melody. But in that particular passage, I'm not using any harmony at all, so that's fairly straightforward. And the bass end, left hand end. And I'm doing now what I often do, and that is to leave the bass notes until the back end of the passage. It gives the tune a sense of direction. I think it's actually moving downwards. Last one was the right one. So that's the first two lines because they're both identical, and then the third line. And that's all done with my second, third and fourth fingers. And my first finger then comes in. Bring your hand, the finger down again. Cross both rows again there for the last note. I'm not sure if I do that. Anyway, you can do it if you want to. Again, there's that little bit of syncopation. Hope we've got all that. Run through it all again from beginning to end. tend to do is slow down and speed up to add to the sort of church bell effect of it. So I'll play it that way now. Needless to say, your dance team would turn homicidal if you played that for them, like that anyway. But I often enjoy playing Morris tunes just for the hell of it. I think they're some of the loveliest tunes we've got in this country, really. Sadly, I have noticed that people in sessions ask if it's a Morris tune, and if you say yes, it's a Morris tune, they switch off straight away. It doesn't qualify as a tune if it's a Morris tune for some reason. But anyway, it happens to be one of my favourites as well as one of Jeff's, as he said. So I'll leave you with that. I hope it works on the particular boxes that you have. I don't know whether it'll sound good on a wet tune box. It might do. I just don't know. I haven't got one to try it on even. So I'll leave it with you and hope that it works. To some extent, it depends on how your bass chords are set up as well. I don't know why. This sounds much better, in fact, on the CF box that I have. Partly because of the pitch, which seems to suit it slightly better, but also because the way the reeds are set up. The chords sound, they interact much better than they do on this box. But this is not too bad. I think you'll agree. I hope you will agree. Anyway, I'll leave you with that for now. So. Bye for now, and good luck with it. Okay. Bye.